Are you unintentionally using your skin to poison your brain? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory challenges, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a school teacher for over 30 years, I've done a lot of lessons about cause and effect, problem solution, and basically what we're saying is there are reasons why certain things happen and there's consequences for things that you do. And that same logic applies to your brain. You know, your skin is the largest organ in your body, and it's a protective barrier for your internal organs. It's very porous, and it's very absorbent. It can consume everything that has small enough molecules to let it in. And that can be a very good thing, and sometimes not such a good thing. Now, did you catch my video? A few days ago, I did a video on toxins in the body. So if you didn't catch it, it's on my YouTube channel, it's on my Facebook page, so you can go check that out. But today I want to talk about 2 neurotoxins that are in skincare and the cosmetic industry. Now, what's a neurotoxin? Basically, a neurotoxin is a poison that's doing damage to your brain. Yeah, and there are lots and lots and lots of toxins out there. They're not all neurotoxins, but there are lots of neurotoxins, but there's lots of toxins in general. Some people say over 3,000 toxins that are in just the skincare, personal care, cosmetic industry that we are putting on our skin on a regular basis, and they can do a lot of damage. They can damage your brain and your other, tissue organs. They can cause all kind of problems like cancer, allergies, hormone imbalances, all kinds of things that they can do. Because once they get inside, once they pass through that barrier and get inside your body into your bloodstream, it's clear sailing. They can go everywhere. They can reach all parts of your body, and it's not a good thing. So today I want to talk about just 2 of them. I want to talk about lead, and I want to talk about fragrances. Okay, so regarding lead. Well, lead, they've done a lot with lead, over the years as they come to realize how dangerous it was and how bad it was for us, and especially for our children. But anyway, they've done a lot with it, and they've made it illegal unless it's in like what they call trace amounts. So you only can have just a very little amount. It's like 10 to 20 parts per million or something like that. But they have a specific amount that you can't exceed, in your products. And, guess that's a good thing. But you can be, so they're still putting a little bit in lipsticks and lip glosses and blushes and eyeshadow and certain lotions and certain shaving creams and all that kind of stuff that we use on a regular basis does have some lead. But when the FDA tested, they ran tests, and their report said that like 99% of the 150 or whatever products that they tested, 99% of them had trace amounts of lead that were below what the limit was. So they said that these products were safe and they didn't warrant any concern at all because they couldn't even detect the lead when they did a blood test, took a blood test. They couldn't even, the amount was so small they couldn't even detect it, on the blood test. They said, this is fine. So they were pretty, I guess, okay with all of that. And that's a good thing they couldn't detect it and it's in trace amounts, but I still wanted you to be aware of certain things regarding that. Number 1, now it's a good thing that they're in trace amounts, and it's also a good thing that a lot of the lead that comes into your body gets excreted through your urine and from your feces. So a lot of it just comes in and then it goes out. A lot of it does. Okay, so that is a good thing. But here's one of the things that you need to be aware of the lead that's left in your body. There's a couple of things that you should know. Number one, they said the lead, when it comes in through your skin and gets to your bloodstream, over 90% of it doesn't stay in your bloodstream. The vast majority of it goes into your bones and your teeth. So it doesn't stay in your bloodstream. It just goes on through, and the vast majority, over 90% of it, will settle in your bones and your teeth. The other place it will settle is your tissue organs, like your brain and your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys and your muscles and your spleen. It will settle in there. Now, true, a little bit, trace amounts. Most 90% of that trace amount is in your bones. The other part goes into your tissues, and then the very teeniest part will remain in your blood. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, well, the fact that they tested the blood and didn't find a lot, that doesn't, really make me feel that much better, because 90% of it doesn't stay in your blood. So guess what? Duh, it's not going to be in your blood when they test your blood, because it's gone onto your bones and onto your brain and your lungs and your liver and all of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really impressed with the fact that when they tested, they didn't find a lot in the bloodstream. The other thing that raises concern is that the experts say that it's not just the dosage. So the fact that they're only putting a little bit in there, that matters. But the other thing that matters is the continued use, or the continuation of the exposure. Guess what, guys? We don't just put on that lipstick once every 2 or 3 years. Well, maybe you do, but a lot of us put it on every day, or 2 or 3 times a day or whatever. It's continual use. The eyeshadow, the blush, the lotion, the shaving cream, whatever. It's continual use of a lot of those products. So yes, the dosage may be very, very small, but the other concern, the experts say, is the continued use. And lead is considered a cumulative toxin. That means the danger comes also when it gets piled up, which leads me to my third concern. Okay, they talk about what they call it the half-life, and that's the period of time where half the concentration is gone. It loses half of the concentration that was there. It's called the half-life. Now, that varies, the research says, that varies depending on where the lead is located. If the lead is in your bloodstream, the little tiny bit that still remains in your bloodstream, it dissipates, or the half-life is about a month, 20-something days, about a month. If it's in your tissue organs, like your brain and your, heart, liver, kidneys, that kind of stuff, half-life is about a month and a half. Okay. But if it goes to your bones, where 90-some% of it will lodge, that's where it ends up, the half-life for it staying there is 25 to 30 years. So most of the lead that you're exposed to that's coming into your body is going to go to your bones, where it's going to stay there 25 to 30 years. And it accumulates because guess what? We're taking those products and putting those products on us constantly, daily, a lot of times. Here's the other thing that you need to know. They said when you are stressed, stress can mobilize that lead. So if it's in your bones and you get stressed, it can mobilize it to pull it out of your bones and your teeth back into your bloodstream, where it can then travel again, once again, to your different organs and tissues in your brain and your liver and your heart and all those kind of things at any given time when you're stressed. So let me ask you, how often are you stressed? We do stress manage it, because stress is like a part of our life. You have to learn how to control that. And every time you're in a stressful situation, you're subject to have that lead mobilized back into your bloodstream and go other places where it's piling up and where it's bringing trouble. Now, they say most people when you have lead poisoning or whatever, you don't look like there's anything wrong. You don't look sick. You don't feel sick, because a lot of times it's just affecting you in terms of fatigue, constipation. They said high blood pressure. They said could have some kidney issues or some brain issues or some reproductive issues, those kind of things. You can have irritability, you can have stomach problems, you can have those other kind of problems, and it may be because of lead poisoning, the piling up of the lead having effect on your body. And so when I heard that, I'm just like, you know what? I need to go with USDA certified organic. Thank God that some people have taken it upon themselves, because FDA, watch my other video, FDA is not too, up on trying to sanction the toxins and things, but some people have taken it upon themselves to look at these products and certify them as being safe or not, having those toxins in them or not. USDA certified organic, and they do have lipsticks and lip glosses and all that. The EWG has started this skincare bank thing where it's testing and checking everything, and so you can find, if you are diligent, if you are intent, you can find products that do not carry those things. So let's go on to fragrances, because fragrances is a whole nother ball game. The EWG says, when you see something that says fragrances on it or perfume on it or whatever, just go ahead and say toxic chemicals, because basically that's what it is. Because the FDA, once again, has let the fragrance industry use what they call trade secrets, where they're not obligated, they're not required to let you know what chemicals are in there, because you're going to take my secret and you're going to make it, you're going to make it mimic me and duplicate what I did. So I'm not telling you what's in it. They use that loophole, and they can put whatever they want in it, and most of them put toxic chemicals in there for various reasons. They say in 1 scent can have, they say like 50 to 300 toxins in it, and it's not on the label. You don't know. They don't have to tell you that it's on there, and you don't know that it's on there, but it's on there. And so they said to be really, really aware that when you're doing any kind of fragrance, you are more likely than not subjecting your body to a lot of toxins. In fact, some of the experts say that the number one thing you can do for your family in terms of reducing the toxic load is to not buy fragrance products. Is not to buy products with fragrances. And even they said, even if it says natural fragrance or unscented, or whether they said do not fall for that. Don't fall for that. If natural and synthetic, the natural ones can have just as many toxins as the synthetic ones. And if it says unscented on the bottle or whatever, you need to go further than that, because they are not required to test, and they're not required to tell you exactly what's in it. Your best option is to go with the EWG. Has their own certification label now, where you can go and you can check and see if a product has been certified by EWG, the Environmental Workers Group, or you can see if the label is on there that says USDA certified organic. What that means is that it is safe for you to use. It is safe for you to use. So I hope that you take that to heart when you are looking for products, and know that it's up to you whether or not you're going to expose yourself through your skin that can get to your brain and to other things, So that's one thing you need to do. Try to do what you can to keep the toxins out of your body. The other thing, though, it just should be trying to provide your brain with what it needs to fight those toxins and other things that do get in. So my question now is, how's that going for you? How are you doing with that, with giving the brain what it needs? And if you don't know for sure, or if you want to know how you're doing, I invite you to go on my website and to take my Better Brain quiz. It's a short little quiz. Take the quiz and you'll get a printout of your results, so you'll have an idea of how well you're doing with helping your brain work its best, because your brain's destiny is in your hands.